So now we will talk about parallelism naman. So as we were reading your essays, one of the major na problems na nakita namin is yung issue when it comes to parallelism. So yung parallelism, alam ko na marami sa inyo yung wait lang, hindi ko pala na-share. Marami sa inyo dito yung hindi pa siguro talagang nagagamay kasi we need to really practice pagdating sa parallelism. Bakit ba natin ginagawa yung parallelism? Ano ba yung parallelism? So yung parallel sentence elements in grammar are just like kung sa geometry, parang parallel lines. They need to face the same direction and kailangan hindi sila nagmi-meet. Walang intersection or walang interchange ng direction na nangyayari. So sa grammar din, it's about making balance sa sentence natin. So kasi 'di ba when we write essays especially, hindi lang siya composed of one word or one type of sentence. Marami tayong sentence na ini-incorporate when we write essays. So for the essay to be effective, you need to have a parallelism in grammar and paggamit din ng mga verbs or even the nouns that we are using. So bakit? Kasi a sentence with a parallel construction, it makes your writing, your essay effective, and it can also look classy. And at first look pa lang, pwede mo ma-impress yung reader na magbabasa ng essay mo. So paano yun ginagawa? So of course, everything naman we can improve by practicing and writing more sa ating future sa pagpa-practice pa natin. So isa sa mga tip na pwede nating magawa para ma-test natin kung napapractice natin yung parallelism, you need to write your essay or if you have time, kaya kailangan pinaghahandaan natin yung essay and yung pagpa-practice pa lang. You write your sentences. Let's say yung paragraph mo, it's composed of 3 sentences or 4 sentences. Write them first on your paper. And then check mo nating mabuti yung unang-una yung nouns na ginagamit natin. Yung noun ba na ginagamit natin, are they parallel? Kumbaga magkakapareha ba sila ng itsura? Magkakapareha ba ng form ng pagkakagamit? Yung verb, una muna, parallel sa verb din, parallelism sa verb. Yung verb tense ba na ginamit ko ay pareha all throughout the whole paragraph o pabago-bago tayo ng tense na ginagamit? Kasi kailangan may parallelism din sa verb tenses and even sa adjectives at sa pagkakasulat ng mga words. So sabi dito, for example, a sentence, ito yung example natin. A sentence with parallel construction makes your writing effective. A sentence with parallel construction makes your writing classy. A sentence with parallel construction makes your writing certain to impress anyone who reads your stuff. So as you can see, dito sa example na to, there are 3 adjectives that are used in these sentences. So, yung adjectives na yun, yung effective, classy, and certain. And they are all adjectives. So, itong mga to, they are parallel kasi they are all adjectives na ginamit para ma-explain ano yung kahalagahan ng sentence with parallel construction. So, una, it is effective, classy, and certain. So lahat ng dinugtong niya dun sa phrase na a sentence with parallel construction makes your writing, ang sunod niya lagi dun is an adjective. So it is a parallel sentence. So balanse siya, therefore it is parallel. So simulan natin siya sa verb forms. Sa verb forms, dito tayo madalas na nagkakamali kasi gusto lang natin, madalas napapansin natin din, even sa inyo na nag-submit ng essay, gusto nating maglagay ng napakaraming words sa isang sentence, gumagamit tayo ng comma and then another word para masabi nating punong-puno ng idea yung ating sentence. Pero it is actually a wrong practice in writing in English. Unang-una, halimbawa dito sa example natin, Olympic athletes usually like practicing, competing, and to eat ice cream sandwiches. So dito pa lang, pag nakita natin siya and we're not careful about parallelism and balance in the sentence, parang wala siyang mali kasi okay naman yung sentence. Pero when parallelism principle is applied, hindi siya pwede kasi tingnan natin na notice the first two gerunds na ginamit in this sentence. Nakalagay practicing, competing, and yung sumunod, it is an infinitive na to eat ice cream. So yung to eat ice cream is different from naunang mga verbs, gerunds na practicing and competing. Kumbaga, nakita natin may ing, ginamit natin yung gerund sa sentence na practicing, competing. These are verbs that functioning as nouns. We know that gerunds, they are verbs functioning as noun, like practicing, singing, dancing. Verb yan, but they function as a noun pag gerund siyang ginamit. So dito, instead of using Olympic athletes usually like practicing, competing, and to eat ice cream, isa lang yung babaguhin natin. We can say Olympic athletes usually like practicing, competing, and eating ice cream. Pero if you want to maintain the infinitive, hindi yung gerund, then you need to change practicing, competing to an infinitive. For example, Olympic athletes usually like to practice, compete, and eat ice cream. So, yung to, hindi kasi pwedeng to practice, to compete, and to eat ice cream. Yun din naman, it is not pleasing pagdating sa writing sentences, yung repeating the same words, it is redundancy. So, pag nagsimula ka ng infinitive, you can just put the word to sa beginning ng first verb mo, na which is practice, like usually to practice, compete, and eat ice cream. Hindi mo na kailangan sabihin to practice, to compete, and to eat ice cream. Kasi it's understood na yung to, it is applicable doon sa sumunod na mga verbs. So yun yung una sa verb forms. And then sumunod is this one, yung noun versus verb na ginagamit na parallelism. So dito sa example natin, for dinner, we like lamb chops and to fry Brussels sprouts. So dun sa sentence natin, we can see yung dalawang sentences or phrase na pinagdugtong. For dinner, we like lamb chops and to fry Brussels sprouts. So yung lamb chops dito, it is a noun. Diba? We like what? It is a noun, lamb chops. Sabihin natin, for dinner, we like adobo and to fry eggs para mas madali nating matandaan, maintindihan. So let's say adobo. So adobo is a noun. But to fry, diba? To fry eggs, yung egg, it is a noun too. Pero yung to fry, it is a verb. Okay? So, hindi siya balanse. So, pwede nating gawin is for dinner, we like adobo and fried eggs. Or we can also say for dinner, we like to cook adobo and fry eggs. So, if you can notice, pwede nating balansehin pag sa paglalagay ng verb also na applicable doon sa noun na adobo. So for dinner, we like to cook adobo and to fry eggs. So balance na kasi pareha silang may verb. Pero kung gusto nating same lang ang noun, we can just say for dinner, we like adobo and fried eggs. So bawal silang magkasama na hindi balance, may verb plus may noun na nakadugtong. As much as possible, we need to balance doon sa ganong area ng verb at saka noun. Ngayon sa noun number naman, for example dito, public transit such as buses or a train can help reduce air pollution. So as you can see here, dalawa yung noun ulit natin. Mayroong buses and a train. So as understood natin, ang buses, it is a plural noun. Dahil nga may es, it is plural, hindi siya bus, but it is buses. So nakalagay multiple buses, pero yung train, it's singular kasi a train lang nakalagay. So ang pwede nating solution dyan, public transit such as buses or trains can help reduce air pollution. Since unang-una, to balance yung buses as plural, we just simply add s to train para maging plural din siya. Kasi hindi naman siya pwedeng, it's awkward to hear na public transit such as bus or train kasi we're talking about a solution. So it's better to put it in a plural form. Ngayon, pagdating naman sa subject matter. So sa subject matter naman, To give us an example, kailangan yung subject matter natin, kung ano yung subject, kailangan balance siya. For example, he decided to cover the gown in sequins and had a steak for dinner. So dito naman talaga makita natin, sobrang off ng napag-uusapan. Kasi nakalagay dito, we're talking about a designer or someone who makes gown and then suddenly had a steak for dinner. Biglang may celebration na nagaganap. So kailangan should be a parallelism in subject matter na it means that everything na dinidiscuss sa sentence should have at least mayroong clarity and relatedness, may pagkakatulad. So anong pwede nating correction dyan? He decided to cover the gown in sequins and to celebrate, di ba? To cover the gown in sequins and then we put a verb and to celebrate, he had a steak for dinner. Or he was hungry after he covered the gown in sequins, so he had a steak for dinner. So we can see here na kung hindi natin ma-establish yung possible connection dun sa dalawa, pwede kang maglagay ng comma and then you open another verb para mapasok yung isa mo pang subject matter para magkaroon ng connection doon sa reader. So yun lamang yung sa parallelism. Tandaan natin yun na even in sa mga tenses ng verbs, napansin din namin na marami sa inyo nagsisimula halimbawa sa present tense. And then sumunod na sentence, bigla ka nagpasok ng past tense. Well, that can happen. Let's say, present tense ka nagsusulat ngayon. Pero habang nagsusulat ka, may naisip kang isang pangyayari na nangyari na in the past. Pwede siya as long as your main verb, hindi siya naapektuhan. Kasi what matters most is your main verb in the sentence. So kung sa first sentence mo, you started with the simple present tense ng verb, you need to have the present simple tense of the verb all throughout your whole paragraph. Unless doon sa gitna, bigla kang magpapasok ng story na nangyari in the past, it is possible kung ito ay nangyari na nung mga nakaraan pa. So remember that it is important doon sa pagsusulat ng essay yung ating parallelism.